Good evening, StreamYard and YouTube fans. This is Philip Reynolds, and I've got a new game. Just got it from my parents today. It's Dice United. It's soccer. Um, I'll have to show you my cameras here. There's my dice, and you'll see there's the cards, and they're the equivalent. They're not quite they're not quite payoff pitch quality, but they're very similar. Today, as you see, we have FC Cincinnati versus uh, Nigeria. So I'll be looking off of those charts for some of the results, and on and that's basically the dice, and that's my camera too, pretty much. On camera 3. That's pretty much my time, keeping the time. The bottom here is for stoppage time, for extra time. So yeah, that is camera 3. And you might be saying, well, where's the soccer field? Well, in this particular version game, there really isn't a soccer field per se. You kind of roll the dice, read the results off the card. Pretty much have to check the instruction booklet. And I really haven't read the instruction booklet yet. That's the reason why I'm going to do it live. I hate to do that. But once I do it live, I might have to look back a couple times. But basically, it says you can do a game in 10 minutes. And you kind of see why that is the case as I go. And these here are there's basically two charts. And I couldn't really tell you, the one is like pitch battles and defense, whether your goalie saves or not saves. And this is kind of your attack. You got an ABC attack. You got a defense over here. Control ranges at the top. Discipline grade. It says player out in the blue over here. So yeah. And I figured rather than me suffering through having to get through all this and figure it out on my own, I figured we do it kind of together and at least try to get through half a game tonight. So with that being said, the instructions on this are basically it's 10 pages, but it's 10 pages, but it's front and back. So basically, it's really 20 pages. Okay, it says Dice United is a streamlined tabletop soccer league simulation. The game is intended to provide realistic results in terms of a big picture across the entire season. Focus of the game is on win-loss records, big league tables, standings, and points, as well as team goals for and against and yellow cards. Games offer two modes of play: observer mode and interactive. Observer mode is for solitary use, which is pretty much what I'll be using uh, most of the time that I'm playing. For solitaire players, prefer to watch action unfold and compile the standings league tables on a week-by-week basis. This mode is ideal for using Dice United Entertainment for a more detailed game of choice. Hey Huss, good to see you. I got Dice United. I just started uh, reading the rules. I basically got through section one of the introduction. Uh, and game tonight is FC Cincinnati versus Nigeria. I want to try to get at least half of it done. Um, and the thing is the reason why I chose Nigeria is I have a friend that lives in Africa, and his goal, or what he wants, one of his dream things that he wants to do, is to become a member of the Nigerian national team. So I figured, well, I figure, and I was hoping that FC Cincinnati would be in the MLS 2019 set. It is. Um, and so I figured, why not? Let's see. I mean, FC Cincinnati was, according to this, 6-6 and 22 losses. So we'll see how they do against Nigeria. Says teams are rated in 5 major categories, both home and away. Below is an example of how the ratings are presented on a team card. Control, overall ability to dictate the action. Creating score chances for themselves while reducing the opponent's chance based on winning percentage. Attack, ability to finish scoring chances based on goals scored. Defense, overall ability to disrupt attacks when the opposing side has possession of the ball based on goals allowed. Keeper is the goalie's ability to stop shots on goal when the attack has already breached the defense based on save percentage. These ratings are assigned on a scale of 1 to 12, with rare exceptions ratings of 13. Ratings of 5 to 9 encompass most squads. Control, attack, and defense ratings of 10 or better are seen at the top of the league table standings. And that, well, the example they give is Manchester City. And you'll notice on this, the control is 12, and on they're 12 with control at home, and 10 with control away. So the away standings and the home standings can differ, and probably do differ team to team. It says, and this is kind of where I have just gotten started. As the game implies, dice results are combined in various ways to resolve key moments of a match called sequences. Think of sequences as highlights in a post-match show. In Dice United, two types of dice. The two types, basically a red dice and a blue dice. And with this game, with this particular game, Nigeria is pretty much the home team. And the home team, I'm kind of going to do it like I do in Glory Days boxing. The guy in the red ring, or the home team, is going to get the red dice, and so that means Cincinnati is going to have their team blue dice, and the 10-sided dice is for your timing and your checks. your control checks, your attacks checks, your defensive checks. Yeah, well, actually, it says the 20-sided are used for control, defense, discipline, and aggression checks. It says these D100 dice, as they call them, it says represents the tens. The black represents the tens, like in the Glory Days boxing, and the white is your singles digits. The tens, that's the tens, and these are the ones. The white is the one. Says a result of zero is red. Double zero is red is zero, and this is the. These are used for to figure out whether it's an attack or pitch battle chart, as well as the secondary tables of corner kicks, straight chances, free kicks, keeper kicks, and penalty kicks. The timing dice, the 10-sided dice, are also used to generate from ranges from 0 to 9, where 0 is red. The 0 is red as 0. And the thing about this, and I'll show this here for you. When you roll those, you'll see that I got 3 and 6. When you're doing it for time, that's basically 9 minutes. It's not. That doesn't mean the 36th minute. That means 9 minutes have gone by. And if you're starting, you just roll the 1, and you'll see that it rolled a 7. That would be meaning we'd be starting on the 8th minute of the game already. And then we have to roll the blue, for the control and discipline checks there. There's the blue and the red. Oh, sorry, wrong camera. That much I do kind of know. Select 2 team cards. We've got FC Cincinnati tonight and Nigeria. Just lay them side by side, home side on the left and the away side on the right. But if you notice, if you ever looked at how the soccer is advertised, believe it or not, the home team is on the right and the away team is on the left. But I'm just keeping it the way that they have it. And for the score sheet, I wrote out the information on in my notebook here. For this game, Cincinnati is basically the away team, and their control is 5, their attack is 6, their defense is 4, their aggression is 9. Nigeria, as you'll notice, they just have 1 block, so you're basically using this for home and away, and that's because this is a World Cup card. This is the 2020 World Cup card, and it's basically at a neutral site, so there's only one normally in this case, you use this as the World Cup things, and you'd be using a neutral site, so there's only 1 line for each team, so I'm using that for the home, for Nigeria's home stats as well. So, Sure. Okay. Oh, okay. Never mind. Thinking I lost the page there, but I didn't. Um, so, and if you go to this, it tells you to subtract the highest control from the lowest control, and that means that Nigeria has a +1 in control. That means that when you roll 1 to 11, it's Nigeria's ball, and when you roll 12 through 20, it's FC Cincinnati's ball. Record the home side attack, defense, aggression, goal. Yeah, keeper rating. Do the same for the away side rating. Note for teams with more than one goalkeeper, roll to determine which one starts the match using the appropriate keeper rating. And with Nigeria, they just have this Francis Uzoa. So that's there's no you don't have to roll for that. But Cincinnati has two, and you'll notice one to 50, 0 to 55 is Richie, and 56 through 99 is Titan. And we're going to roll which goalkeeper is. Uh, we're going to roll for goalkeeper, and that will be a 75, and that will be Titan. And he has a keeper rating of 2. And Nigeria's um, Uzoa, Uzoa, and his keeper rating is 6. And that's down right there. Okay. Discipline grade. The AGG ratings of both sides, and look up the result on the discipline grade table. So we have the aggression. So that is, we we have 14, and the aggression table is a grade C. And that's total aggression is right here. And the 9 and the 5 equal 14, so we're right there. So it's grade C. All right. It says look up the number will fall in a range corresponding to a letter grade A through F. Each grade translates to a pitch battle number on the score sheet. The lower this number, the more frequent pitch battles and stoppages occur. So basically, what that's saying is pitch battles will occur 14 when the roll is 14 or under. That will be a pitch battle, and basically pretty much look at the chart, and where it says first half, you look at the result 0 to 99, and based off of that, that's what will happen with the pitch result. But that happens only when, for our particular purposes, when it's 14 or under. Okay. All right. Yeah, it says lower the number, the more frequent pitch battles and stoppages of time. Before we discuss the steps in detail, the basic procedure for resolving sequences are timing roll. The timing roll determines the sequences occurs. Also, the roll discipline die along with the timing roll. This determines the type of sequence, attack, or pitch battles. Resolve the sequence. Attack sequence roll for control and defense. Resolve the D100 roll on the action chart. Pitch battle roll the D100 and resolve on the pitch battle chart. Each sequence may lead to several events on secondary charts from injuries, and set pieces to keeper saves and goals. Next session we'll discover timing. Says with the kickoff phase, when we kick off, we're just using one dice to start with. Right, so this game will start because the first half begins in minute 1. So a roll of 0 means sequence occurs in the first minute, and a roll of 9 puts the opening sequence in the 10th minute. Ours is 5, and that means our opening sequence is in minute 6. So our game is already in minute 6, and we just roll the dice for minute 6. All right. After the kickoff sequence, roll 2 timing dice and end the results together for a range of 0 to 8. Each roll is added to the time mark of the previous sequence. Normal timing continues until the Results exceed a regulation 45 in the first half and 90 in the second. Crunch phase, when a normal timing roll exceeds regulation. At the end of each half, it says drop the higher dice, meaning you would just, instead of using these after the first roll, you just would go back to using this one. It says this marks the beginning of crunch time. In crunch phase, you will continue to roll one die until exceeds stoppage time. And it says entering crunch phase. The clock is in the 34th minute, and the next roll is 13. This exceeds 45. So the 8 is dropped, and only 5 is added. The game clock enters time in the 39th minute. Subsequent time rolls will use one dice. Hey, good to see you, Chris. I'm just kind of going over the rules of Dice United. And our teams tonight, hopefully we get maybe half of us done. Our FC Cincinnati and Nigeria. We're really playing in Nigeria, but this is a World Cup thing, and it's acting as if it's on a neutral site. So, for my purposes, since there's not a home, I'm using this as the home side as well. It's one of those when you're not sure, kind of make up your own stuff. Good. Six. And then here it talks about the next section is concluding a half. It says when the time roll exceeds the remaining stoppage time, the half is over. So when you go beyond 45, and then say that there was 2 minutes of stoppage time, what happens then is basically you come to the end of the half, and that's pretty much the end of that half, and then you start the second half. If no stoppage time was recorded in the first half, the default interval is 1 minute. So if there was no stoppage time, you get 1 extra minute regardless. And it says that's noted in my noted up here in my timesheets. You automatically get 1 by default, but if there's injuries, timeouts, anything like that, then and you can go all the way up to 9 minutes. And you'll notice first half, I don't know why they start at 37, but it's 37 to 45 and 82 to 90, which to me that's kind of goofy because it's not like what you would see on the strap football where 15 minutes and they track all. It's just kind of like almost like a partial, but it works. And they give example. It says ending the second half. When a timing roll exceeds the 90th minute, the game clock enters crunch time. Continue with the crunch time rolls, meaning you're only rolling 1 dice. not 2. Then at the end of the match, you stop and resolve an attack sequence. This game, automatically, the last thing you do in this game is the last thing you always do is there's one last attack sequence. So if a team is down by 1 point, they might have that one last chance to get a goal and tie things up. So as long as you're only down by 1 point in a soccer game, there's that chance, that final chance to tie things up and have things go in your favor. Says it's the final attack rule. It's the only hard stop in the match. The final attack represents one last all-out effort before a whistle, and it's always an attack sequence. It says nor the 20-sided discipline die result when you get to the final attack. The second half default interval is 3 plus 3. So instead of 1 in the first, you get a default of 3 in the second. When the crude stoppage is greater, use that instead. This default interval accounts for minutes lost due to substitution that is noted on the blue timing space. Says, and there goes through second half timing examples. It says not yet crunch time. The previous sequence was at 79th minute, and the next time roll is 11, bringing you to the final minute of regulation. It's not crunch time yet because you didn't go over the 90. Now the next roll will mean that you're only rolling 1 dice. It says now entering crunch time. After resolving the 90-minute sequence, you roll 2 timing dice, resulting in 7 and 1 for a total of 8 minutes. This exceeds 90, so you drop the 7 and apply the 1, entering crunch time at 90 plus 1 note. Had you rolled a 0 instead of a 1, you would have entered crunch time in the 90th minute and resolved the second sequence. That's where, if you get zeros, a lot of things can occur all in 1 minute sequence. Example, default stoppage interval. You're at the 88th minute and only 1 minute stoppage is accrued. Therefore, the default interval 3 remains in effect. The next time roll is 4 minutes. So the next sequence is at 20 plus 2. Final attack, continuing the example above, the sequence is 90 plus 2 was resolved, and the next timing roll is a 5. This exceeds the 1 minute remaining per the default interval, so the game clock stops in the final minute at 90 plus 3. This is the final attack. So the discipline die doesn't matter. Not a final attack. The game clock is at 90 plus 1. There is a plus 6 stoppage time. The next timing roll is a 5. The next sequence will occur at 90 plus 6, but it does not trigger the final attack because the stoppage time wasn't exceeded. Not a final attack. The game clock is in the last minute of stoppage time, and the timing is 0. Another sequence is resolved immediately, but this is not the final attack yet because stoppage time was not exceeded. So you can get double zeros on your time in this, even in the game. If I were to roll double zeros, it's still the 6th, basically still saying it's the 6th minute. So you can have 2 or 3 things happen because your dice are reading double zeros. Sorry. Yeah. But there's that, and wrong dice. Yeah, so when they're showing double zeros like that, you can get a lot of action all in at one time. Keep in mind there is intentional abstraction in stoppage mechanics. In theory, one could roll several consecutive zeros and pack a wild amount of action into a single minute. The same is true of real football. Things can change in seconds, and that is why these timing rolls allow for multiple sequences to occur within a single minute. Speaking of rolling zeros, let's discuss how it is handled. It says rolling zeros. When stoppage time or a goal occurred in the previous sequence, advance the game clock to the stoppage time. Instead of 0 minutes, this can apply on a roll of 1, following a 2 minute um, 2 minutes of stoppage. And that's pretty much where I had about as far as I had read. So, um, and it says minimum elapsed time, pitch battles and free kicks accrue stoppage time. Occasionally, the timing roll of the following sequence is less than the amount of stoppage time recorded in the previous one. In such cases, the stoppage time is the minimum amount of time elapsed on the game clock. 1 minute minimum. At 23 minutes, a free kick and plus 1 stoppage time occurred. The next roll, 2D10, was 0 minutes. However, the time is advanced by 1 minute due to the stoppage time that was just recorded. The next sequence occurs at 24 instead. So if basically it's saying if you had a free kick, you got 2 double zeros, you have to advance it 1 minute, and in that case. 2 minute minimum at 8:55, a pitch battle resulted in plus 2 minutes of stoppage time. The following timing roll was a 1, so the clock is advanced to 87 instead. Not sure about that, but that's what it says. After a goal is scored, the minimum elapsed time is also 1 minute. So after a goal, pretty much you get 1 minute of stoppage time as well. This accounts for celebration and resetting the action, but this is not counted as stoppage time at the end of a half. If a minute of stoppage time was accrued for every goal, then it would easily get overinflated. 1 minute minimum following a goal scored in the 57th minute, but the following timing roll is 0-0. The game clock is advanced to 58 minutes. Summary: this approach to timing will take some practice, but it also brings some extra depth. The timing aid card should prove useful as you learn this facet of the game. Once you get into a rhythm, you may find that it moves along smoothly and can phase the flow of the action. And now we're kind of getting into the section 3, which is action sequence, which is actually looking at the cards and and resolving issues and stuff like that. Okay. It says, as discussed earlier, a Dice United match is resolved in a series of sequences. The timing procedure above produced an average of 15 sequences per match. Some matches may only generate 9 or 10 sequences, but occasionally a match may feature 18 or more sequences. There are 2 types of sequences. Attack. This is where one side has clear possession of the ball, and they may create a scoring chance from straightforward goals to low percentage. Pitch battles. Possession is contested, and the action involves hard physical contact. This is where most stoppage time is accrued, along with yellow cards, injuries, penalties, kicks, and so forth. Here are the steps for resolving a sequence. Timing and discipline. Roll the timing dice. And it says kickoff, normal, or crunch. And we already rolled the... oh, thanks, Chris. It's just going to take me a while. I'm about halfway through the rules, so I might not even get to start a game. But at least I'm getting through the rules. It'll take me a little bit, but that's all right. So we got a 5 on our initial. We got a 5 on our initial time thing. We rolled that, and that is a 20. And for our instances, the pitch battles are at 14 or lower, and that is higher than that. And 20 would... well, let's see what it has to say here. Resolving attack sequence. Take a look at the action chart. All right. It has 4 columns labeled A through D. Attack sequences begin in either column A, attack, or D, defense. Let's walk through the steps. Roll both 2 D20s. The red die is for control range. The blue die is for defense. The red die result will indicate which team has the ball per the control ranges established in the pre-match setup. And Cincinnati has 5 and Nigeria has 6. In the adjacent image, Team B has a con rating of 1 to 11. Let's say the red die result is an 8. Team B is in control and they are on the attack. Had the red die resulted in 12 or more, Team A would have been on the attack instead. When the blue die is for defense, okay. Result is equal to or less than the defending side's defensive rating. The attack sequence is shifted to column D. Well, that's not the case there because that's 15. And theirs is 6. So Team B is on the attack and the blue dice result is 13. Team A's defense is not in effect. Team B's attack will start in column A. So for us, that's kind of what, and that would be 5. Attack of 3 plus goal. And that is, their attack is 6, so that would be within that range. So that's higher. Actually, yeah. So we would have to see if that was a goal. Okay, well, let's keep on going. Now you know that which column to reference on action charts. Roll D 100. 60. and look up the column results. 60 on this would be attack 8 plus keeper check, and that's most results in this column will list an attack rating with a plus symbol, i.e. attack plus 7. The plus symbol means or higher. In that instance, 8 or higher, they don't have that. This is the criteria to achieve the listed effect. When the following followed by the word goal, a goal is scored. When followed by keeper check, which is what the 60 would say, the attacking side has produced a shot on goal, and it's up to the keeper to stop it. When the attacking team rating does not meet the listed criteria in column A, then shift to column B. All right. Attack 6 or 7, and that would be the case. It would be a corner kick for FC Cincinnati in that case. When the team's attack rating meets the listed criteria, they are good to use to create that scoring chance, usually a corner or free kick. When the team's attack rating does not meet the criteria in column B, then the attack sequence concludes in column C. Oh, I see. So with the 60, attack 8, which is not what FC Cincinnati has. They do have the attack of 6, which means it's a corner kick. And then you roll in the corner kick box. And for this example, that's 88. 88 defender clears the ball, which would mean that nothing happened, and you roll again. On the action chart, all scoring chances are in bold text. When an attack shifts to column C or D and there is no bold text, the attack sequence is over, making a time roll and move on to the next sequence. Let's see here. Example, attack columns. Team B is on an attack sequence and the D100 roll is 19. The result reads attack plus 9, goal, but Team B's attack rating is 8. Shift to column B. It reads attack 7 or 8. Free kick. Also plus 1, which means 1 extra stoppage minute. Therefore, Team B's attack rating of 8 produces this set piece. Mark 1 minute of stoppage time and roll again to resolve the free kick. Example, goal scored. Team B rolls a 12 on a column A attack, which reads attack 7 plus goal. It means that they automatically got a goal. Their rating is attack 8. Team B scores. For added detail, roll the D100 again and reference the goals column on the team's card to see who is credited with the goal. Let's see here. And let's see, where's that? Corner, setting the kick. Goals column. Okay. Oh, never mind. You'd actually have to go to the card. You roll you have to once a goal is scored, say FC Cincinnati scored, You have the section that says goals. And if I rolled and say it came up 72, that means that Fatih Alish would have scored that particular goal. I am going to stop there. I know I didn't really get to, we didn't really get to do a game, but what can I say? Reading the rules takes time, and but I promise we'll get through the rules, and but I want to make sure that everything's okay, and it's just a matter of check column A. If not in column A, check B. If not column B, C. And then if that's for attacks, defense, you check the defense column. And some of them say defense +8. You can see the free kick. Others, it says bold header blocks a dangerous shot. So, yeah. But it's good to see some people in my channel for a change. Good to see Huss. Good to see Chris. I'm just, with new games, I like to try to take my time. That's why I want to read the rules for Stratomatic so I don't have to do all this reading of stuff first. But that's okay. But the game should take, if you look at Gamescape, and if you know what you're doing, and I don't yet, and I apologize, I don't yet, but I'll get there. But when you know what you're doing, this game literally takes at most 20 to 30 minutes. I apologize, I'm not there yet, but I will get there. And I'm almost at the 1 hour mark anyway, and I really like to keep my videos in the 45 minutes to an hour mark. So thank you, Huss, for joining me. Thank you, Chris, for joining me. I know you didn't stay, Chris, but that's all right. It's good to see some guys watching my videos and that, and I enjoy that. I know I may have fumbled and stumbled and all that through some of these rules, but I'd rather do that than it's just showing that I'm making an effort to do things right, and that's more, when it comes to games, that's more important than anything else. You guys take care. You get the rolls that you need, the ones, the sixes. Throw that long bomb when football. Get that home run. Lay down a bunt, and keep up the dice rolling, guys. Take care.